Okay, welcome to Gas Poetry reading number 7. I'm going to suggest this time, and when I call your name, tell me where you are located and a little bit about yourself or whatever you would like to promote, whether that's a project, a book, or just talk about yourself a little bit. And let's start by reading 2 poems, and that's save roughly 4 minutes, and we'll probably have a second round. Okay, I think I will start with Bengt O Björklund, the Beat Poet Laureate Lifetime from Sweden.
Okay, thank you, Belinda. Yes, I'm from Sweden, Stockholm, actually. I'm going to read, I brought with me 3 books. I have this one, it's printed by Alien Buddha Press, I think 2018. I'll read a short one from this one first. There's a trail running from the bottom of your eyes to the outskirts of all understanding. It is paved with believers. When I go, you too can go. We will all go. There's a show going on downtown. Sunshine runs like perception, and day tilts in a certain way. There will be a price to pay. We will not hold hands. Stray me not here, reclaim me, as I in times of better I hold no transitory substance to blame, nor the way I walk. That was the first one. I have this one. Called A Stab in the Dark. Just one big long poem. Cold grass sways their old bold necks, indifferent to the season's grim tale, too short to be told more than once on this long, unsteady night. The sounding drums of war, bleeding, the reckoning of days, the hollow eye. A bird above the barren froth sings of grass in crystal silence, calling no more. Families and trees all gone. Fathers long before us waited for the turn to fill the gap. The sun is a sea of salt. It's a long one. I stop there. And the final one, thank you.
All right, read another one.
The final book is this one, the new one. It just came. I'm going to have a release of this book when I come to the States on end of this month. It's published by the National Poetry Foundation. Okay, this one here, I'm going to have a release for in a couple of weeks in the States. So I'm plugging for this one. So you can buy it now on Amazon. It's called If There Is No Tomorrow. I read the sky today, bricks and mortar ready for the big leap. Once there was a bird chirping at the kitchen knife, turning sunshine into water. Reflections bother me, tiled uneasily with memories above the charcoal trees. Saddened by the light curving around the edge of days, I turn to triggers and ruptures, aim for a different position as I watch the sun go down. The little boy grew up to the constant living room tight tick-tock, and the black ominous hands turning dark hours inside a wooden clock. That's it, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How about let's hear from Finn Hall, the Beat Poet Laureate from Scotland.
Okay, surprise, that was quick. Okay, I'm from Scotland, and it's been quite lovely here for a while. I'm going to, oh, this one's up in front. It's called Splendid Isolation. It's quite short. I happily live side by side with my demon, taking responsibility for the inner screams and hollowed out existence, shallow depths my soul may reach. Nothing triggers me or sets me off in any which way or other. High inner walls prevent any breach of my chosen solitude. It's all on me, my choices, my decisions, not to be met by your derision. It's all the same. I accept the blame, if that can be said, for things inside my head. This is me for what it's worth. Solitude standing singularly solo, active, alive in splendid isolation. Happy here or there, anywhere. Just me being exactly what I need to be. That was written from a writing group I do April's month prompt with, and the prompt for that was blame. At the moment, I'm actually putting together an anthology, some of you may know, of poems. It's called Orange is Not a Real Colour, and it's poems anti-Trump, totalitarianism, Nazi, whatever you want like that, uncensored. So a couple of poems, you want to send them to me, I'll put my email in the chat. And I won't be putting bios because it could be risky, especially for some American people, to have more than their name and where they're from in the book. Let's see if I can find one that I have written for that. No, not that one, if I can have them. Yeah, this is sort of, yeah. It's also a science poem as well. It's called All Fall Down. F equals GMM over R2. Newton knew, you know, that force with the right pull can bring down anything. And the mass that is taking over the world right now is not here for infinity. As some say, infinity doesn't exist. It's just a convenient means of controlling the conversation, except the impossible counting between naught and one. But the speed of the fall depends on us all, the mass pushing against the thought of bigger mass. People power is the solution, the singular revolution. There are logically more of us than them, although they appear to hold the power, but only because they shout the loudest, thinking they control the numbers. But numbers are not always what they seem. If they don't see the negative numbers at all that are all around and get or keep things off the ground. E equals MC squared. Use this to push back, put fascists on the rack and all the other ists they scrape off the bottom of their shoes. We have the numbers to make them lose, make the fall, bring them down, crashing in a vacuum to the ground. Thank you.
Well, thank you. All righty. Benito Villa from Mexico. Mexico.
Yes, I'm in Mexico.
Yeah.
And when I moved here 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, I only had two poems published, and I've since had 20 some picked up. So it's just I'm very surprised. Since it's a full moon tonight, when I was looking at poems to read, I thought to read this one. It's called No One Wants to Clean Up Being Blind to the Sky. I can't see your faces. I can only see the poem, so bear with me. Tripping back through the zodiac, myth by myth, star by star, each cycle, each history telling secrets as obvious as the sun, as subtle as Mother Goose. The cosmos innately knows its maker and sings their song clearly, freely, without wondering what part of its maker to worship or thank. Mankind likes to think far more than listen, likes to use yesterday to make sense of today, and likes to carry resentments as far as it can, even though there's little benefit to the species in doing life like that. Alice thrives in Wonderland, discards her preconceptions, her biases, and becomes deathless, patient, and radiant. Wile E. Coyote will not quit. Mickey Mouse is happiest when he's home, asleep next to Minnie. Cute suburbanites, so busy fixing, doing, getting so tired they forget to fuck. Bugs Bunny cross-dresses, whistles, laughs, and mixes up words in his own way to make sense of what's happening. Bugs befriends his monsters and his enemies, kisses them all. It doesn't matter to him who anyone cares for or who anyone has sex with. Hey Diddle Diddle ain't about no cat or no fiddle. Orion's belt ain't no belt. The little red hood represents more than one little girl. The fishes yield to the water bearer yields to the sea goat, the archer follows. Real healing begins when the path of heaven is complete. To be emotionally driven or spiritually guided is the choice to be made. To be aware of who, what, where, and when is the how of it. Lay down those burdens and unbind them and set them free. Will Caesar, Hamlet, and Othello would not wait, would not listen, and left a mess. No one wants to clean up being blind to the sky. Now I can see your faces. Thank you. So that was, and then this next poem, I was in a workshop and somebody said, you know, your poems are all philosophical. You don't describe stories. So I was like, yeah, I guess they are, but I tried. So this is a poem called You Are Unfolding. It's two parts. So part one goes, dizzy ballerinas fall and fold themselves into pink piles of crinkled skirts, then slowly rise off the floor and come to standing as if blooming before skipping off like little birds. You are unfolding, which changes everything to come after you. I treat my own heart like it's an Oreo cookie, fucking around with it first, comparing what one side looks like to the other and wondering about all sorts of things before finally putting my teeth right through it. You are unfolding, even as your reverence and obscurity await you. Bloodthirsty, violent America, that's who we are. The problem isn't guns or cookie, it's us, we the people. Way too many of us don't have the tools we need to get along with others, to feel comfortable with ourselves. Those of us in that state should never hold a firearm. Part two, you are unfolding, a dream you've gotten good at telling you. You are unfolding, the harmonies your angels keep chanting for you. You are unfolding today how the dash of time intends to hold you. You are unfolding you, I am unfolding me. That's two poems. I mean, I have another one queued up here that.
We're going to have another round probably.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're not from Mexico then? You moved there?
I moved there 4 years ago. I have a long story that involved Fidel Castro. I'm actually Cuban, born in Chile, raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then I have 50 some years in the States. And then learning how to speak Spanish in Mexico.
Wow, that's so interesting. You got a lot of material right there to write about. All righty, we'll see you again in a few minutes. Westley Heines, would you tell us a little bit about you, what you're working on, and read a couple of poems for us?
All right. Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I run a open mic here in Chicago, and so if you're ever in the neighborhood, I have features if they're coming from out of town or have a new book. Out of everyone here, Dan's done it. He's a road warrior, Dan Denton. Next month, I got Jason Ryberg and John Dorsey. It's actually this month, April 26th. And then after that, Mark Lipton doing his National Beat Laureate tour is going to be at my thing at the Gallery Cabaret here in Chicago on Saturday, May 24th. And then I'm going to join Mark Lipton and his poetry bus again at Route 66 Fest in Albuquerque, and all stops to Beyond Baroque in Los Angeles. So there's a big summer ahead. And I got this book coming out. It's called Cloud Watching in the Inferno. It's through Roadside Press.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, my friend Daniel Stein, it's an oil painting. He's in Santa Fe. And so yeah, I'll do one from here. This is called Honky Tonk Angels. It's about a roadhouse in the Texas Panhandle. Honky Tonk Angels spin in a galaxy of rhinestone. Swirling, twirling, they dance as the beer goes flat, as the rain weeps through dank walls. The singer howls, the pedal steel cries. Drums table tap codes as the bass beats blood. Water damaged faces warp, hips dip, stitches strain. They parade like automatons, but they will it so. What are their bodies saying in this language without words, in this silent rhythm? They are the shadows of the music. Divine dancers dangle the question between their legs. It means everything and nothing. Whale songs, bird songs, mating songs. Spiders wave back at the galaxy. There is no meaning except they are alive. They are not the meaning of life. They are life itself. Some sweat, hobble, dresses fray like blooming petals. Tonight they will sleep well, feet and shins worn. Adrenaline dreams of pairs, squares, spasm sparks, glances, glimpses, teeth flash in space. They are not the answer. They are not the question. They just are. So again, yeah, this is my new piece, and I'm having a book release party. If I don't think anyone is here in Chicago, but it'll be released through Roadside Press um, on 420, man. Uh, so it'll be available online and all the usual places at that point. Next, I want to do one from this is from Roadside Press or for Roadside Press. Dan Denton, our friend here, put this together to help Roadside keep going because, as you know, to be independent is hard. And yeah, message Dan if you want to get a copy of this. It's full of all kinds of great poets. Dan, are there any of these left?
Yes, we've sold about half of them. There's about 50 of them left. 49,
Okay.
I think, actually.
That's not bad. Yeah. Well, I'll read one of mine from here. It's called Hangman on the Sidewalk. Heaps of brown buildings, bumps and funk, shirtless figures leaning out windows, small rooms that shape our dreams and hold the others out. Smoking a rolled cigarette and sipping a beer, houseplants and horns, talking shit and crooning soft. Steam where rain hits hot pavement. I live as a ghost, swimming in neons between walls and spray painted mirrors. As the boys toss their quarters on the sidewalk, as we hide from the cold, then from the heat in turns, as we kneel in tide pools, peeling warning labels, staring at killers on magazines, and ads of half naked girls who are selling clothes, anticipating white beards and Armageddon. These are the visions I once thought were cool. I no longer think these visions are cool. I just don't care. I could have been a holy man, but there are too many already. Just another beautiful day in eternity, sitting on the edge of the void, smiling faces smooth as moons, so far away from well-dressed worries, as the stomach turns over in space and the universe yawns. What fools we are to desire anything more. Hey, that's it for me.
Okay, Mike Matthews, where are you? And also read a couple of poems for us.
Hi, I'm in Texas in a small town near the military base Fort Cavazos, and I'm a professor, English professor, and artist and poet. And this book, Waysides, is going to be released at the end of this month, I believe. It's my third book. It's 65 pages of poetry and art, and I got the review PDF, and they made it look really good. It's published by Finishing Line Press, and it can be found on Amazon and other places. They published two other books of mine, Ashes. I'll read from that one in the next go round. And my first book, Water of Joy, which is also by Finishing Line Press. And it's a dream. It's something that I always wanted to do, and I'm so happy that I get to do it. So I have several poems. Waysides that kind of it manifested from walking around and trying to, not listen to all the chatter and then see what I notice and what comes from just walking around and trying to make observations. And this poem is in Waysides. It's called Boarded Up Pieces. A jar full of sun tea rested on the porch some yesterday, didn't it? Which hand picked it up and poured it into memory, left or right? And who drank it, sweetened or unsweetened, with or without lemon? Someone does not desire anyone to look behind the boards, to see the pieces of glass on the exposed floorboards, in the space that held the dining table. Do not pass. Do not take what is left of the time spent building a cohesive routine. Behind those walls, where windows once invited the light, there may or may not be pieces. That's one that one of the people who did a review, thank you. That's one she liked a lot, and she's used to be the head of our art guild. She's still there, and she gave me an assignment. She used to be an art professor to our art teacher to paint a large canvas of iced tea because of that poem. So I'm gonna have to work on that. I've been trying. It's not as easy as it looks. This one's called The Day's Overtime. The day lay its spoon face down on the pavement, the back like a funny mirror, for it to reflect into another hour, reshaping the curve of the horizon, so that the sunlight might spread into the arch of the rising moon, its oranges and reds like flowers, blooming at the edges and from the cracks of the random road at the foot of an ordinary hill. Thanks.
Think. Okay, Susie is up from Florida.
Hi, I'm Susie. I'm in Ocala, Florida. And I have some poems I want to read to you from a chapbook that I'm trying to find a home for. Most of the poems were published a while ago, and I finally collected it. This one is called 13 Enough. He is mongoose, gypsy, trip, a conjuration of tatters in places of concrete, homeless, dirty, each crack of skin. He is his terrain traveled, the phases of facial creasing, scars and stories, human flesh, human trash, a teenager pawing at a parking meter, shy eyes at your moma's picnic, a red-haired boy caught in the woods, homeless all day, in the street, seen, not by franchise ghetto Americanized America. Street is current and he lives now. The light on him is your own heat, and glibness, that is your heartbreak. Sweetness he is, as is survival. And if the lusciousness of the young man is his icon, his tool, then he is your raw stray, another muted home. I've seen Republican crowds prefer their coinage to the tux mime. Wineheads sleep and clustered on air shafts, spare ventilation from our monoliths, dead freaks and hippie kids on the highway, homeless, Monday morning, as the man in plaid adventures while raking magnolia leaves and dog shit. who had a bag lunch and needs $3.75 for a night at the mission, borrowed money from a bum to pay a bum for a box. Sleeping under Mississippi wharves and in the dirt-rimed alleys of Arctic Chicago. Another day, chump change, scraggly notice of each other from neutral ground to corner. Hey, you bum, you homeless. A tribe in this unnamed era of distress, a listener to your sleep unseen.
Thank you. Okay. Suzanne West from California.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm from California. I live in the Bay Area in a town called San Rafael. I'm a poet, a writer, and a professor of psychology. My partner calls me a nutty professor, and he is absolutely right. So I have two books I'll read. One of them is a poetry collection. This is a thing from the publisher, but anyway, it's called Subterranean Light. And then another, a nonfiction book called Soul Care for Caregivers, How to Help Yourself While Helping Others, which is a topic I've been very passionate about. I worked a lot with caregivers and found them to be an extraordinarily stressed population. So anyway, this is from the poetry collection. It's called You Are Broken and You Are Whole. It's to my daughter. This morning, you are shining blonde hair, full belly laughing, a field of glow. My heart falls into place. I remember you clutching your belly on the cold tile floor in the New York hotel, writhing, burning, silent screams. You needed me to stay back. I've never felt so helpless. Disease is a cauldron, boils us to the core, disrupts, dismantles, strips layers of seeming safety. Disease keeps us in not knowing, stretches us beyond where we think we can go, forges us in its heat, transforms, humbles. You tend to this wisely in your quiet ways. Grace is known to you. Pain and fire the teachers that turn you towards the sacred. I do not know all the ways of your mind or see all the times you fall to your knees, yet it's clear today by your restful smile that you are watering holy seeds and sit cupped in the hands of the universe. And then here is quite a personal one. And I just decided the other day this needed to be written. So, okay, it's called Is It Love? I wanted the blaze of love to burn away my not enoughness and all my fears, complete me, enlarge me, raise me up, erase my troubles, lift me out of ordinary living, save me from chaos and all the faces of pain. I wanted a special one to melt me, love me, with no hesitations, no reservations, keep me high and make me glow. Our cells would be tattooed with forever hearts. I flew and blazed many times, always though, somehow choosing trouble, danger, drama, intensity, lots of highs and lots of crashes, burst bubbles, failed dreams. Sure that drugs and alcohol were my only addictions until a wise 12-stepper asked if I knew about sex and love addiction. Sex played a part, to be sure, but the words love addiction stopped me, got me deep diving right away. Many years in that recovery program and surprisingly ready for healthy love, I met the perfect match for sober me. We're going on 17 years now.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, Dan Denton, tell us something about you in the poetry world, and where are you living?
Hey everybody, I'm Dan Denton. So I'm from the Toledo area mostly, but I live in a travel trailer, and like last year I stayed the night in over 18 states in the United States, and right now I'm currently in southern Indiana, right near where Bent will be reading with Ron Whitehead soon. Um, so also, I wanted to say real quickly, Susie, I think we read together in Gainesville once.
Yeah, I
And
think so. Yeah.
I remember you.
How you
Yeah,
doing, man?
good to see you. You incredible fucking poet. Good to see you here. Small world. Uh, but anyway, Wes mentioned one for the roadside, so I'm going to read one from that real quick. I have a website. It's www.thelunchbucketbrigade.wordpress.com. And anyway, you can find out information about, I don't know, everything's blurry. This one for the roadside that Wes read from. I'm going to read from one from that and one from my book real quick. So this chapbook, like Wes said, me and 8 other writers from Roadside Press joined forces to make this chapbook to try to raise funds for our, a press that supports us. Because, independent presses are, you know. Anyway, this poem is called The Shoes You Walk In. After watching so many of my fellow hairless ape sapiens interact with one another from one coast to the other, I've figured out one or two things about nothing that would be of much value to most. But just in case you're one of the few who want to know, write this down. It's from the gutter gospel of the forgotten and adopted. Being punk in the sheets ain't the same as being punk in the streets. A homeless human is an unhoused human. A car is not a house, and a home built on wheels never has a solid foundation. Housed or unhoused, it's warmer to live in California, but even the faintest rush of luxury in life will cost you something more. The most basic instinct of every animal is to survive first, no matter what. And follow me here. Humans are Homo sapiens, and homos are the last surviving of their order of gray apes. And gray apes are primates, and primates are mammals, and mammals are a vertebrate animal. And I'm a human too. You already know what that makes me. And the biggest lesson that life has taught me is that your perspective on any of it depends largely on whose shoes you're willing to walk in when the rubber hits the road at night. All right, and then real quick, so this is actually a novel, but some people claim that it's written poetically like prose. I'm not gonna. I'll let you guys judge that, but I should read from my novel. It's from Roadside Press. It's called The Dead and the Desperate. It came out in 2023, and this is a very short chapter. Chapter 8. They sometimes call the factory the plant. It's because they plant work boots on concrete. They plant empty dreams in human hearts. They plant blood and sweat and arthritis. They plant broken homes in local communities and hang climate change in all our broken windows. They plant addiction, anxiety, and stress and dance marionette cruise ship vocations in front of our dimming eyes. They plant bankruptcies and reverse mortgages, and they plant cancer in every organ, in every cell, in the air, and in the water, and in the earth. They call the factory a motherfucking plant because they sure as shit plant cancer. And they plant it and plant it and plant it, and it eats at us. It eats at our city budgets, it eats our schools and our children and our futures. And when all the cancer that they planted has eaten all of the laughter of our children's children, the factory will turn its back and leave to plant cancer in China and Mexico and Vietnam and Taiwan and India. They call the factory the plant because it's where they plant the American dream. And they fertilize the American dream with American workers that give half their lives to grow money for Wall Street farmers. And that money is funneled to 10 billionaires that own all the land the factory plants and factory workers live and die on. Chapter 8 from the Dead and the Desperate. Thanks, guys.
Okay, all right. Okay, Sultana Raza, are you ready to read?
Yeah. Wonderful poems and very full of passion, full of certainly a lot of flow. I think a lot of these poems are coming from the heart. So yeah, it was, yeah. Okay,
And
so
where are you living right now?
yeah, so I live in a tiny country called Luxembourg. It's in the middle of Europe. Well, not exactly in the middle, but anyway, surrounded by big countries. And I grew up in India, so I'm an Indian product. But I've been planted in in Europe. Anyway, yeah, and actually, just to say very quickly to Dan that yeah, there were huge problems in India because of some American corporations in the past, and people never got compensation. So in the end, it's a small world, you know. Okay, so regarding the news, well, I should at some point try and publish a book, but I haven't done that yet, a poetry book. However, well, I've published poems in more than 200 journals or something like that. And I also publish science fiction or fantasy, but these poems are not too science fiction and, you know. Yeah, and in the near future, there is actually an anthology out. It's called Flame Tree Press, Flame Tree Publishing in the UK, and they took out an anthology on Achilles, the mythical hero. And so I have a short story in there, but the dialogue is all in formal verse. So I was surprised when they accepted it, but you know, that's something. And I have a few poems here and they're coming out soon. Sein und Würde, I don't know if you've heard of that journal, which is based, I think, in the UK, and also Poetica and so on. I'm on Facebook, so it's sultana.raza.7, and that's where I put some of my, and that's how I met Belinda through Facebook. So thanks a lot, Belinda, for hosting this. Okay, so this one is a poem that was published in a journal called Aothin, which is a journal on classical matters. And I, although I'm Indian, I like Greek and Greco-Roman mythology. So this poem is called Coalescing Philosophy. And actually, it's based on one of my own artworks. As I catch one thought, another slips away. Too many loose threads, hard to gather them into a Pythagorean whole. Since I've been petrified, one would suppose my brain may have become too fixed like Platonic solids in gray granite. Yet, my pensée refused to sit still even for a second. As memories swirl, I can only watch treatises from Diotima, Aspasia, and Hypatia from different centuries, coalescing, melding, irradiating into an exquisite jumble of ideas, rather like the woolly thought patterns of these organic automatons passing by, with no respect for venerable scholars such as truly yours. Everyone's too busy staring at these palm-sized infernal devices with no time to ask questions about what they are fed from newspapers, like Socrates urged them to, or to listen to my age-old wisdom as they stumble along rutted lines of their mundane lives, chasing fame and fortune, none of which help after once being transformed into a skull polished too finely over centuries, or a seemingly stony head. So this was a statue speaking. Okay. One more.
Yes.
All right. So this was published in a journal which is known as Literary Heist, which is based in Canada. And I think they're always looking for work, so most of the time. So please free to send them work if you wish to do so. So this one is called Ruminating Spume, and it was published in December last year. Washing away limpet-like doubts, she squeezed guilt out of her hair, drying it in the sunlight of her conviction that she should take just one day off for herself. Combing the beach for unusually colored glass bits for a mosaic board, she didn't mind missing a green bottle as it floated cheekily away, since sea salt had pumped up her mood. At least, she'd managed to preserve another mid-sized green bottle, rescued by her Baba on tropical shores more than a quarter of a century ago. She didn't mind it when suddenly a bevy of nosy seagulls surrounded her, flapping wings busily, giving urgent messages she couldn't decode. Though frustratingly, she never understood why her folks threw up the rolled up bluish paper inside it, especially if it was in a language they didn't know. But they could never have imagined how easy it would become to translate all kinds of lingos in future. Now, she wondered how long it would be before gulls disappeared from this coast too, hoping their numbers would go up soon. In the past, at least there was one small innocuous thing she knew about her Baba, that he'd rescue a lonely green bottle which had been bobbing on foreign waves for far too long, even if the doctor had come too late to prevent him from crossing over to the other side. Had that message been a bane or a warning of the early demise of the person who touched the bluish paper? Or had it contained tips for curing his illness? Now, the sea spray served to hide her tears, even if others were busy sunbathing, swimming, rowing. She was glad that sand was scraping off dead cells on her feet in the most eco-friendly way possible. A biggish pinkish shell with white dots made her giggle as it won its hide-and-seek game with help from laughing waves. The Mediterranean sun winked at her sympathetically before exiting dramatically into orange smoke, which decided to slowly turn itself into a purple haze. Cozy lights beckoned along with scents of lemon grilled tuna. A seagull sent Baba's faint goodnight from a faraway island, floating towards midnight.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I think that leaves me. Everybody's had a chance to read, I believe. And I'm Belinda Subraman from El Paso, Texas. I do stuff like this. I work with Gas, Poetry, Art, and Music and Beat Life Journals. And Bengt O Björklund, who is here now, will be our May Poet of the Month. And we'll be interviewing him real soon. Okay. And this, I have a YouTube site / Belinda Subraman, and this is where you will find this poetry reading in a couple of days, and I'll tag you. El Paso immigrants looking for home. At the base of a desert mountain, the dry ocean of empathetic waves mingle and continue as the air we breathe. There is no spiritual boundary in the atmospheric sea. Winds blow through fences. Border Patrol may capture and detain us on land our ancestors lived. Long guns with laws may deport us. We still share the same air, and ghosts of history haunt the land. We're only looking for home above the cemented gulch of the Rio Grande. Okay. Project 2025. Believers feel holy in a warped religion of whiteness without love. Propaganda of greatness, an egomaniac's face on money, an addition to Mount Rushmore. As stocks fall and tariffs rise, a billionaire with a chainsaw cuts our jobs. Pregnancy means babies and nothing else. Many will die, but we need soldiers. A conspiracy theorist chooses staff. War plans are made over personal phones. The government encourages the unvaccinated to spread disease. Insanity is a norm, not a plea. The plan aims to take countries we say we need. We aim for more war, global realignment, an axis of greed. Unlike World War II, the prison camps mainly vanish immigrants instead of Jews. Government claims to want peace, floats a white flag, purposely misunderstood. Believers feel holy in a warped religion of whiteness without love. Okay. All right, shall we do one more each? Let's start again with Bengt O Björklund.
Okay, thank you, Belinda. Well, I forgot to mention the first time around, I'm also an artist. I have many exhibitions behind me. I'm also a percussionist, and I have a band called Beat Poets Society. We just came out with a new record. It's all on Amazon. You can, on all the music platforms, you can find it. Anyhow, I'm going to read you a poem, and this is for you, Finn. Written like 3 weeks ago, I think. Goes like this. Celebrity warfare on live on TV, retribution demanded and ransom in days of wild extinction. Fathers set their daughters on fire, juggling their inflated ego for the attention of he that peddles Bibles and smut on the back streets of yesterday, where the glory of God is found in sleazy bars and gutters, reverberating in cold flesh, creeping for the sake of fake dominance, stealing the day unnoticed by the many that pray for breakfast and loathe for lunch. The language of hate has no grammar. Disgust is a mental disorder.
Thank you. Finn Hall.
All right. I never said much about me at the beginning, so I will. Publisher. I publish books under like a block from the Blue, mainly anthologies, but occasionally individual collections. I'm a filmmaker, and I've just while I've been on here tonight, just finished editing a new film that I made. It's called Act My Age, and it's literally, it's all me. It's celebrating being the fabulous age of 72 and things like that. It's, so I get to one poem from that film, and it's potentially a live event thing as well, but no one's asked me to put on the 45-minute thing. So it'll be a film. It'll be premiered on Zoom on the 4th of next month. So this one's called Skin. You just see the skin, not the one who lives within. You see the spots and scars, the wrinkles, cuts, freckles in hair, without an idea who exists in there when you only look with your peripheral vision. not knowing what the septuagenarian outer shell disguises. Hope you don't mind surprises. You just don't know. I'm the happy loner in the crowd. You just don't see. I have one tattoo, that's all, a taint upon my well-worn shell, you think? I could probably walk you under the table. If it's hilly, then I'm less able. But, and this is a big but, don't jump to any conclusion. The smooth-faced skin, well, it's just an illusion. I've earned the tears and bumps and gashes that creeping, crawling time surpasses. It only tells you what you see. I keep within the real me. I'm deaf, a bit blind, but I don't mind. My glasses help me read a book. And like me, you may discover that old adage, don't judge a book by its cover. Hardcover, soft cover, I can be both. Inside, bubbling up, troubling up, boiling us. So, I'm fine. In this skin. In this skin, neither thick nor thin, a human being lives within. Surface-wise, I may look fine, but underneath the muscle mass, the nerves entwine, twisting, coiling, angst and pain. Inside, outside, not the same. Not the same. You just don't know. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, Benito Villa. If he's still there, let's see.
I had to unmute myself. There I am. This one's entitled Darwin's No Optimist. Darwin's no optimist. He sees every species tossed to specific failure, each one destined to vanish by way of its imperfections, true to every past, to every future. We are a momentary midge. Let me try that again. We are a momentary midstorm of particles in a universe that will not wait to be explained. A technology that sets out to conquer, that sets out to duplicate itself by its own definition itself, does not care about our collective or individual souls. It means to expand itself, only itself, not us. It means to fill its own data holes as it sees fit, even if it means hindering our ability to change minutely like we're supposed to, us humans. The super lawless natural form that we are, doing, being, moving on as our senses want. After 10,000 years of civilization, humankind has become a fool with a whip, making marks wherever it goes, one day to be found fossilized by its own hand. We are a remote future, a remote past with a coherence our practiced rationality is not meant to comprehend. Each one of us finds our own way to wherever we're meant to go, no different than any other form of creation. Despite all we know, despite our insistence that we're different, easy come, easy go. We are children of the universe, a form of energy, eventually coming to see the years arriving as fast as snowflakes. A cult society which seeks to dominate, which praises itself as an act of greatness, claiming the right of law and citing its need to protect freedom, is just one more form of hate, mind control, disguised in false words as being the will of the people, as being the way it's supposed to be, a propaganda popular among those who cut corners, who loathe learning, red hatters, brown shirters, thought police lovers, denying cultural change, and celebrating intellectual isolation, so their black and white view of mechanical forces doesn't ever mix with a broader spectrum, any quantum understanding. Survival of the fittest is a trumped up phrase having nothing to do with natural selection or the forces of doom Darwin described. In each species' demise, Darwin's no optimist. He sees no survivors. That's it.
Thank you.
You're
Okay. Westley Heines.
I should probably read another one from my new book, but I want to just do new stuff. This is called Naked Wishes. You hear me okay? All right, thanks. You started as a reflection in the mirror behind the bar. After you sang, you came down and we made eye contact. Gave you mouth to mouth outside where the smokers stand. The cab window, shaky Polaroids with grins and telepathy. Suddenly awake in your walk-up, cozy pillow-laden lady lair. We formed Hindu gods contorting in the silver light pollution. Morning blew, the radiator wasn't working. We wrapped in sour blankets, dry and hungry, skipping off to the kitchen for coffee, hot. How soon you went from vision to memory to obsession. The rose you wore in your hair lingered on my tongue. My cat would stare at me as I stared at my phone, at you. I tried to keep it cool, not to scare you away with my gaze. Then you answered my call. I soon realized you didn't sleep, afraid of dreams, plagued by unhealed memories. We went dancing, plunging the mind by flushing the body in neon sweat. You fell there on the floor, bubbling in cellophane and glitter. Blown up balloon hands jazz spiders to darkness with no partner, weaving naked wishes across empty dungeons of surface pleasure. Cool lava consumed you in green ectoplasm stromes, photos, selfies, evidence, forensics, cold cases. Witches born of betrayal. A baby is crying. Is it your baby or is it you? You can't hear it? Time to go back to the mirror, back to the first image. The mobiles on string, dangling like memories mixed with good and bad. Mom, dad, grandfathers, rag dolls, powder makeup, and desserts. Texted after midnight for the final scene. Arrived, promised peace. Arrived, promised love. Arrived, promised excitement. Arrived, promised a future. Shook with blood-stained sheets. The TV on the fritz. Eyes left of light. Me holding the bag. You, free at last. Gone.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike Matthews.
Hi, thanks. I'll read a poem from Ashes, one of my books here. I did the digital art here. I've lost 3 father figures, father-in-law, my biological father, and then recently my stepfather, who all 3, my biological father and my stepfather, I was very lucky to have 2 very strong father figures. And this one I wrote after the loss of my biological father. It's called White Ashes. What did Dad see when he looked at the horizon, filled with Gulf water and small breaking waves? When did he look at the sea and say, "That's where I want to go, to let my ashes sift into salt and sand"? What kind of freedom did the coast give him from his struggle with his body, born with holes in its heart, that he could never breathe enough to run like the boundless wind and waves? Fishers on the pier showed us their one big fish, curled in a cooler and wrapped with rubber bands. A slow barge left the wide mouth of the river, leaving the boundary of the shore for the sea. Grackles shuttled on the bank and gurgled. No seagulls swarmed over the few dead fish. We found a charred log on the shore that burned black in a distant fire. His brass urn shined in the bright October sun. The white smoke from the incense smelled like the sweet calm of a temple, and the small flames on the candles slowly descended through the words, happiness, health, forever. We poured his ashes in the ocean where the Colorado River meets the Gulf of Mexico, where the waves felt like fists when they broke against our chests. Dad's caliche white ashes sifted into the sandy brown water, where they spread together with the endless breathing waves, forever indistinguishable.
Yes.
Finished? Okay, thank you very much. That was beautiful. Okay, Susie.
Hi, I'm Susie. This poem is called Legacy. Whom shall I haunt? Will this alto still weave your ear? My visage a flicker? What incantations shall become your tattoos? Have you felt me nearby? My famous scent will yield to other bodies. The horses know this, as do all them who know my color. Have you felt me next to next? My noble bones and your in ancestral disbelief? Because I and I were flesh to you, may this ever be your madness.
Thank you. Sultana Raza?
Okay, I'm unmuted now.
Yeah.
So actually I was going to read, all right. So we are all poets here, and at some point in our life we have been, we send out work and it's not accepted every time, and we don't know why, and we don't know and some of you editors as well. So maybe this poem, might speak to all of you. So this is called Rejection Reply Unsent, but it was actually published in a magazine called Poetica. No, in an anthology called Poetica. Anyway, so someone else has been quicker on the uptake than her, less dithering, wishy-washy, indecisive, less dim. In broad-minded terms, who likes to purr, someone less judgmental, less cautious than him. Someone more open, intellectual, clued in, less material, corporeal, or grasping, more true. Someone more expansive, less hesitant to bin, who processes texts and lines likes to chew. Someone who understands all cryptic clues, less dense or biased, less prudent or prim, more avant-garde, more receptive to cues. Someone less pompous, less likely to trim. Are they sorry to have missed this random chance? Are they likely to change their radical stance? So this was, well, it was published, but of course it's for all editors who, never mind.
Okay, we understand. Thank you very much. Okay, I will conclude with a piece I wrote in a hotel room trying to fall asleep, sometimes half asleep in that weird twilight, or but I was just listening and not sleeping. Sounds below the surface, low static, house hums in a strange place. Restless brain listens all night. Muffled talk from an ancient radio concerning World War II. News we can't use or understand in a bold staccato of importance. 2. Heavy boxes fall from weak arms, a faraway door closes, an air conditioner rattles metallic songs, blows hymns to the hot, textured, assaulted air. Alien spacecraft motors hum, heavy breath, click, pop, and sigh in another dimension. 3. We can dream of more exotic locations, excursions in hot tubs by the sea. Hotel rooms are mostly standard, so we could be anywhere. Sounds of silence echo through cultures we don't understand. The sounds of different highways leading to names we can't pronounce, and people who may not respect our curiosity. We believe we show and grow empathy. They see us as gawkers who see them in a free range zoo and feel entitled to, each justified by misunderstanding. Okay. Thank you all. I've enjoyed listening to all of you. And the GAS has a reading the second Saturday of every month. It is now established. And I hope to see some of you again, or all of you, if you would like to come. And with that, I'll say goodbye. All righty. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Belinda, and thanks everyone.
See you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.